Nonetheless, getting clean drinking water into our homes is a complex process. Nowadays, most people in the U.S. live in towns and cities, and most communities have an organized public water supply system to provide water to homes, businesses, and industries. You might know these entities as the county or city water department. So how does the water we use every day make its way into our homes? Drinking water begins its journey in one of two places: surface water or groundwater. Approximately 64% of public water systems rely on surface water, such as water that comes from rivers, streams, and lakes. The remaining 36% of fresh water comes from groundwater. This originates in aquifers. These underground reservoirs develop when the rain and snow seep into the soil and rock. An aquifer is not a pool of water, but a body of rock or sediment that is completely saturated. It can be made of sand, gravel, sandstone, or other rocks that store and transmit water. Many cities in North America and around the world rely heavily on groundwater. Regardless of where it comes from, water goes through an identical treatment process before it reaches our taps. The first step of the process is called catchment. This is where a series of pipes connected to the water source pump water to a designated treatment plant. Interestingly, many treatment plants use gravity to move the water into their facilities. Next is the screening process, when large debris like trash, bits of plants, and stones are filtered out using screens. The next stage is coagulation and flocculation. In this step, chemicals with a positive charge are added to the water. Commonly used coagulants include aluminum sulfate and ferrous sulfate. The positive charge of the chemicals neutralizes the negative charge of dirt and other dissolved particles in the water. When this occurs, the particles bind with the chemicals and form larger particles called floc. The floc settles to the bottom of the water supply due to its weight. This settling process is called sedimentation. Once the floc has settled to the bottom of the water supply, the clear water on top will pass through filters made up of varying materials and pore sizes. This filtration removes dissolved particles such as dust, parasites, bacteria, viruses, and chemicals. Though not always common, the water may also go through the process of ozonation. This involves adding a highly reactive, colorless gas called ozone to the water. This electrified liquid oxygen is pumped through the water to kill bacteria, viruses, and protozoa and reduce the concentration of iron, manganese, and sulfur. It also breaks down pesticides. The water may also have a chlorine compound added to kill any remaining parasites, bacteria, and viruses, and to protect the water from becoming infected with germs as it is piped to homes and businesses. In some places, fluoride is also added to water to improve dental health. Throughout the process, the water goes through a series of government-mandated tests to ensure that it is safe to use. Once the water meets the set health standards, it is transported to homes and businesses. There are nearly 1 million miles of pipes, control valves, pumps, meters, storage tanks, and hydrants dedicated to getting water to those in the United States alone. In some places, water is pumped to a water tower or tank in a high location to create water pressure that then allows the water to flow to homes as needed. Residential water pressure is usually kept between 45 and 80 psi. Pipes made from steel, galvanized iron, and cast iron are used to take the water where it needs to go. Water distribution is far from perfect, though, with aging water distribution systems becoming an area of concern. Outside the United States, around 844 million people still lack access to basic drinking water. Furthermore, in many rural areas, households rely on private groundwater wells for drinking water, and these may become contaminated by industrial activities. The good news? In the last 25 years, 2.6 billion people have gained access to improved drinking water, and this number keeps rising each year.